Good evening to you all. So, some more kicking dust here. Now, I'm actually going to start with some footage of... Well, watch this. Boosh. So basically, this is a thing now. Apparently you can beach the LAV. I am pressing forward, I promise. This thing's stuck, so... I was kind of bemused by this because I thought this was actually quite funny. Well, basically what you see now is me going to try and fix this. But anyway, what we'll use this video for today is firstly to show what a complete idiot I am, which is not that difficult. But secondly, we're going to look at some of the some of the tactics. We'll give you an update on the Corp. The Corp's doing very well. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined. Maybe just also a quick update on some news. From Dust as well. There seems to be some good movement going on. I think there certainly seems to be some good, interesting things about to come over the horizon. Anyway, let's get started. So, yeah, basically, as you can see, we've just managed to. Well, yeah, the mechanics are a bit crazy there, but that was pretty funny, and I only include it all because it just shows what a completely laborious process that was. Anyway, let's get to the action. So we're in this map particular. I think this is an interesting one because most of the time that little bit there you can throw a spawn pad in there, and very rarely do people notice it. So if you lose a CIU, you can actually get back in and camp it, which you'll see us do a bit later on. But mostly doing shotgunning at the moment. This is well, I guess it's just due to the fact that we want to do shotgunning. There's no real reason. I think on our team we had maybe 4 shotgunners, and on theirs probably 4 or 5. So it was actually quite an interesting thing. Instead of just everybody running around in the assault suit with an assault rifle, it was a weird, crazy place where all of a sudden people were using other suits. So we had like scout suits, logistic suits using other guns other than ARs. So it was a joy. I'm going to have a bit of a moan for a second, but I think you should try and always fit more than just an assault suit with an AR. I'm not sort of bitching about it, but I just think there's more to the game than just the AR and the assault suit. Mostly because I think most people are actually quite sort of geared up, ready to kill that kind of fit. So you can see here this laser versus an assault suit and an AR. There's nothing he can do, whereas if he had a laser he could fight back, or if he had a mass driver he could probably own me. So have just a consideration about that. Also, one of the key things, again, I'm going to really kind of make a point about is multiple fits, and you'll see here this is kind of evidence and proof having multiple fits. And the supply depot, I want to now kind of propose to you all that the supply depots are basically essence from God, because they actually are tactically, I think, they are the most important asset on the field. Because okay, things like turrets and certainly the capture points are important, but I just think at the moment the ability to change, if you have say a dozen fits, all for different scenarios, so close combat, mid-range and long range, then you're going to be pretty much well prepared for any kind of encounter. So this is why the ability to change mid-fit without having to respawn, I would say is just absolutely tactically vital. I'm sure that's not news to most of you, but I just think, give supply depots a bit of care. As you can see, this one's being shot by some dick in a turret, so I'm actually just going to take all the turrets out. This is a tactic I think, again, you should know. If you have a militia forge gun with 3 shots, you can kill any turret. And I think everyone should kind of do this, because turrets they're kind of the bane of anti-tank. They're certainly, the blaster turrets are the bane of infantry. So I would say it's probably not a bad thing to to take them all out. So yeah, so supply depots I think are pretty key. So let's talk about the Corp. The Corp's doing well. This is the Unholy Legion of the Dark Star, yeah, we're doing well. I think we're up to about 127 members now. If you want to join, please come on in. You don't need to apply, you don't need to mail me, you don't need to do anything other than apply. If you want to, look in the comments of this video or search for CO Pyrex, all one word, Clone A, and then just apply and we'll let you in. We're a pretty chill bunch, and we would warn you with that in advance. We're not terribly organised yet. Although I'd say we're probably getting there. I think we've had some court battles lately where, well, let's be honest, we've been just owned utterly, because we're kind of running around like headless chickens, posturing and looking cool, and then getting blapped by like an organised group of people. So we're probably going to start tightening that up a bit. We're going to start using comms and all that good stuff. But again, we're never going to be tightly super serious with this. By the kind of by the best estimation of man, we are probably close to comical. Only because I think we play this game to have fun. So, you know, if you're super serious, if you're like, oh my god, want to win, lol, you know, want to kill, want to have a high KD ratio, oh my god, did you see that guy's fitting, blah blah. Well, we're probably not the court for you. You can certainly join if you want, but we'll kind of be sat there like looking interestingly at something like, oh my god, did you see that missile? It was amazing, and then everybody kills us, and that's probably about about as elite as we are. But we're getting into tanks at the moment. It's pretty funny. We keep spawning in tanks and then driving into each other, which is actually quite bad because yeah, we're like I say, we're like a kind of bunch of clowns with our clown cars as our tanks rolling around. But anyway, so you're welcome to join, and I think certainly, you know, again, I will just express this: don't play Dust on your own. It's a difficult game as it is. Don't solo it. You know, yeah, you might have to run ambushes and stuff like that for risk on your own, but always try and be part of a wider community. Just as maybe a comment on that as well, that there aren't really the tools to manage a corporation in the game yet. So what I mean by that is you can't do corp mails, for example, which is, well, fundamental in communication to a corporation of people. So, you know, that inability to just, you know, kind of conform and inform and get people rolling is just not there at the moment. So you know, that's a big issue. So this is why if you are a member of the corp now, if you're a member of a corp and you're getting a bit fed up of never knowing what's going on, you're not alone. The whole game is like this. There just aren't the tools to manage a large group of players, unless you do sort of post, you know, external forums and stuff like that, which you shouldn't need to do. That, you know, EVE works particularly well because you have this multi-leveled layers of communication from the individual to the corporation to the alliance, and that's why it works well. They will do this in Dust as well. Again, I think CCP have always understood well how communication is critical, so don't worry too much about that. But at the moment, we as a corporation are suffering from that because I think a lot of players just don't really know what we're doing because we're not really able to express through word of mouth what's going on. But anyway, that's probably one of our challenges at the moment. But as I say, if you don't play Dust alone, and come join us. So here we're doing some really, you know, I guess questionable tactics. We're spawn camping. If you don't like this, then I can only apologise and laugh. Because, you know, this is a viable tactic. You've got to do this sometimes, and you know, we know we're losing the map, we know we're losing points, and that's kind of a reason because we want this map to go a bit longer, because it's a good map, it's a good fight. So, you know, this is why we're kind of letting certain points get captured, and you know, the whole gang is just stood here like blatant whores trying to capture points, trying to capture kills, sorry. So yeah, it's a questionable tactic, but you know, what can you do? And then eventually somebody comes along and owns us all like that. But I think at the end of the day, you know, you've got to play the game as in what the mechanics do. EVE is filled with questionable mechanics, but you just got to get on with it. You just got to do it, because at the end of the day, if you take the high ground and don't use it, in fact, let me regale you with a story. There was an alliance called ASCN. If you remember that, then props, RIP, never forget. But ASCN had this kind of utopian dream of building a deep space alliance. So they went into deep space with, you know, a couple of thousand of players, and they started to build a utopia in deep space. You know, an empire from empire, if that makes sense. But what happened is we got absolutely gobbled up and eaten by a group of players who didn't really have the same ethics as that group of players did, ASCN. And effectively what happened was is they would use questionable tactics like spying. Nothing wrong with that now, perfectly, absolutely commonplace in the game, but ASCN back then kind of refused to spy on people because it was seen as, you know, oh, we don't want the game to become like that, which was stupid because that obviously led to our downfall. And many other tactics. So, you know, this is why I think sometimes, you know, when Dust becomes part of EVE proper, and we're able to then start capturing planets and doing all the good stuff that's going to happen with alliances and stuff like that, you need to have basically balls of steel, because it's going to become a very underhand game. You're going to see backstabbing. If you go into deep space and there's friendly fire on, you're going to see friendly fire incidents where basically one squad will face up against another, and then half that squad will start killing, you know, TKing their own squad because of some deal. That metagaming is going to come into this game. So, you know, don't be Don't be disillusioned with that, because it is actually quite a rich experience, and I think you'll quite like it. But you know, eventually somebody is going to get you. You're going to see a lot more corp theft as well. You're going to see a lot more kind of just generally people being dicks about stuff. So you know, and don't, if that fills you with dread and you feel your buttocks clench with anger, then don't worry, because at the end of the day it is fun, and that's what sets Eve aside from any other MMO. Is it's that depth of personal choice that I think makes it an astonishingly epic game. So you know, I think it's going to be great fun. So there we go, we won the map, victory. That's a rare victory, but I think really just using questionable tactics probably got us there. In terms of the skill cap, I've hit my skill cap, and yeah, I'm probably not going to log in on this character anymore, which is an issue. I think that maybe is something that CCP need to look at, but that's another time. And there we go, not a particularly high scoring round, but most of it was just capturing stuff and doing stuff like that. So there we go, hope you enjoyed that, see you next time.